Do you ever start just studying the Quran during hard times and just unlock things? Like you just start reading through the Quran, random chapter, random page. It's usually what I do. I just start scrolling until I find a certain section, just something that jumps out at me. And then just start reading. And I keep reading. And I keep reading until something just like unlocks in my brain. Like I get like some kind of skill cape in the taekwondo of Quran. Well, there is something that I just discovered that I think most people overlook. And it comes down to our weaknesses and our strengths. So chapter 30, verse 54 talks about this very specifically. And do you guys know what it says? Like, do you guys really know what it says? I'll pop it up, but it talks about how God created us in weakness and then turned the weakness into strength and then strength back into weakness. Now, obviously, it's talking about age, right? We start as babies, little weak peasant babies, and then we grow up and then we get really good, we conquer and do cool things, and then we get old and fragile, and then we become like a weak baby and we wear diapers again. But there's a little bit more to it. Now you could argue with me in the comments and yell at me if you want, but there's a good point behind this. Because I firmly believe every verse in the Quran has so much information in it. There's tons and tons of information behind every single verse. And just taking it for face value is not fair. We've seen this multiple times. There's been people studying this for 1,000 years, where you take a verse in the Quran and then you look at it and then you reread it. And then like the 30th or the 50th time you read it, you understand something more about it. You're like, wait, this applies to this as well. This is a part in the Quran that tells us that God can turn our weaknesses into strengths. And I have a very embarrassing personal example to show you guys. That's going to be crazy. Like, do you guys really want to see something crazy? Because this is pretty wild. So this was me. That was me. Like, actually was me. I was broken. I was depressed. I was a loser. I was fat. I was disgusting. Everything about me was horrible. Everything about me. This is me 2 days ago. Now, obviously, there's a big physical difference, but what created the physical difference was the mental difference I went through. These moments of pure weakness, like I was weakness, like a walking weakness, and everything flipped. And there's something to it. There is one little thing that clicked that changed everything for me. And before we jump into it, I don't want to hear people crying about like, oh, shirtless photo. Like, it's a before fitness photo. Shut up. Nobody cares. Quit crying. You're just being weird. I could drop a modern one and make you really ashamed of yourself. So just leave me alone. But anyways, in that before photo, I was broken, like genuinely broken. There was so many moving parts of my life that was tearing me apart. Like, to getting serious for a second, parents were going through a divorce, like a brutal divorce. It's as bad as it gets. Divorces suck in general, but this was pretty bad. My father relapsed. He was doing enough dope every day to put down an elephant. I was just out of jail on intensive probation for an assault charge. And I had a baby mama trying to destroy my entire life. Like, it was just bad. It was bad from every angle. As a felon, you can't get a job. You're a single father, which I ended up full custody of my son by the blessing of God. I still to this day don't understand how, given my circumstances. I'm not going to go into detail. It was definitely a blessing though. But as a single father, felon, on intense probation, that is a surveillance officer that will go to your job. Nobody wants to hire you. Nobody will rent a house to you. You can't do anything. You have a 9 p.m. curfew. You can't do anything ever. And all opportunity from life gets taken away. Oh, I know not all of you guys are from America, but if you have a felony in America, you're basically useless to the system. You have to wait 7 years to be able to have a life again. You can't get no place to live. You have to get a girlfriend and make sure she is on the lease and you don't get in trouble over there. Or maybe in some cases you can go to the hood, which tried that. My apartment got shot up too many times, so I ended up leaving there. Especially having a kid, you don't want to do that. America's not really a safe place. But there's just so many moving parts, just so much disaster, so much destruction. And I turned into an animal. Becoming an animal is not the best option. It is the only option. So there's this saying that goes, he who makes a beast of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man. And that is one of the most truest things I've ever heard in my entire life. When you're going through pain, you're going through suffering, you're going through all kinds of suppression, like life is stepping on your throat. You have no choice but to be an animal. And even if you don't want to be, you're going to become it. You're going through so much pain, you're just going to start lashing it out. Now, the important part is to target that pain to a certain direction. Because if you don't direct it in the right path, you're going to unleash all this rage and energy and all this pent up aggression on the people you care about, the people you love. So you have to turn this and transmute it into a strength. You have to take your weakness, which is all the pain, all the things that are crumbling you, and transmute this through the grace of Allah and turn it into a strength. Now, in this moment, I realize something crazy. So we're taught all the time, like all over the internet, it's like, well, think this way or manifest this. Like manifestation's cool. It's real for sure. But they tell us like, oh, you have to use your thoughts this way. And I do talk about things like that. Like there's moments where using your thoughts is helpful, but your thoughts don't control your actions. Your actions control your thoughts. And I don't know why they're hiding this information from us. The things you do, your physical actions will determine your thoughts. Now, of course, you're going to have intrusive thoughts. Of course, there's the Qur'an. Of course, there's jinn. There's all these things, these temptations. But what matters is falling to the temptation or not. The more you resist temptation, the easier it gets. 21 days is all it takes to form a habit. So after 21 days of resisting a temptation, it is natural reaction to not go towards the temptation. And this is proven through addiction research. People are getting off of the forbidden tar through the 21-day system. It's how we're wired. God created us this way for a reason, and it's so we can have some grace. If we can prove to him for 3 weeks that we could do good, that we can resist something, then he grants us the ability to stay on the correct path. So whenever you start changing your actions to change your mind, your outlook, so you can be happy, so you can feel good again, so you can be bouncing around high energy, initially it's going to be hard. It's going to suck really, really bad. I just went through this actually. It's easier now because I did it once, and I did it once in like a horrible situation, like one of the worst situations I've been in my life. I forgot to say it earlier, but this was like shortly after my brother died too. So I was still like in pain, it was still a couple years old. Like that trauma is still there. I was still at the point where walking it through the grocery store, I would feel like I would see him, like somebody would slightly resemble him and my heart would like stop. I would lose all my breath and think he was just hiding or something. I was like serious trauma. So there was just so much going on in that moment, and I popped out of that through the grace of God, for sure. But the way I popped out of it was just doing things. And I know that sounds like too simple, but it is. It is actually more simple than you think. Whenever you want to find the correct things to do, it's pretty easy because we all know the things we're doing wrong. Like you don't need me. I do the coaching calls, and that's pretty much all it is we go through all of it. I added some more time on there if you guys want to jump in, or you guys could just go through what I'm about to explain to you. Our minds are really good at finding negativity. Just so good at it. For some reason, we just like bad stuff. We just want to be depressed. We're addicted to the cortisol or whatever that stress hormone is. And so we hunt for negatives. So just reverse engineer it. Ask yourself, if I want to have a horrible life, how would I live? I wouldn't be sober. I'd never go to the gym. I'd eat McDonald's. I would never work. I'd be a bum. I'd have no money ever. And then so you go through these things. It's like, okay, how could I be the worst person ever? List it all out. Like physically write this down. Put 2 sides. This is what I'm going to tell you. Put 2 sides on a piece of paper. Say worst person ever, right? And then on the other side, do best person ever. We're going to do this side. And don't fill out the best person ever initially. Do worst person ever, right? And list it all out. List the worst person you could imagine. And then take the opposite, flip it on the best person ever. That is your framework. It is very simple if we just reverse engineer things, because it's hard for us sometimes to identify like, okay, if I want to be better in life, what do I need to do? Like, well, that's going to be tricky because you're sitting here trying to glorify yourself. Like unless you're like narcissistic or something, like it's going to be really difficult to see that. So just look at the negative, flip it to the opposite and say, okay, we're doing these things. Now, initially, it's going to be pretty damn difficult to do these things. It's going to be difficult to get yourself moving, to get yourself in this state of perpetual motion and energy. This is because your brain is stuck on the negative stuff. It's going to sit there and tell you you're going to fail. This is shaitan. This is loser syndrome. The jinn, whenever you have jinn attachments, this is the loser syndrome. You have the loser disease. That's all it is. It's a loser disease where it sits there and tells you loser thoughts all the time. And so you're going to have these loser thoughts. The loser disease is running rampant right now. You feel like shit. So whenever you overcome the loser disease, all you have to do is ignore the thoughts and force yourself to walk forward. Take your first step. Go do the dishes. I always tell you guys, do dishes. I swear, this community must have the cleanest dishes ever, because it's like almost every video I tell you guys to clean your dishes. I hate dirty dishes. They're the enemy. They're the shaitan too. But seriously though, you guys are going to have to force yourself. Really just do it. Just do it. It's going to suck. You're going to have a bunch of negative thoughts. Just do it. And then do it 20 more days. You hit the 21-day mark and it's a habit and it becomes very easy. But there is going to be a moment of pain. Like you're tearing off this shaitan attachment. You're ripping apart this negative energy off of you. You are overcoming and curing the loser disease. And so always keep in mind, your actions shape your thoughts. Your thoughts don't shape your actions. Now, all that being said, one of the big things you also have to focus on is your diet. Like what you're consuming, what you're putting in your stomach, in your mouth, shoving in your face is really important because once again, your actions shape your thoughts. Now, the food that's inside of you, low vibration food, and you guys know what I'm talking about, like McDonald's, Taco Bell, that kind of crap, will mess you up. These things are dangerous. One, they're haram. Nobody eats perfect. If you live in America, it's like difficult, right? For me personally, there's no like halal butchers around me at all. The best thing I can get here meat-wise is going to the local grocery store and finding some ground lamb. That's it. There's just ground lamb. That's it. And it's like $12 a pound. It's crazy expensive. So do the best you can. Like I get it. Food's expensive. I'm not rich. You might not be rich. Most people aren't rich. Like it's expensive. But just because you can't get the perfect thing doesn't give you the excuse to just do whatever either. You still have to eat as clean as possible. Like genuinely. And even outside of it, even if you're not following a halal diet, right? Maybe you're Christian watching this or otherwise. You need to clean up the food. Stop with the pastries. Stop with the donuts and the cupcakes and crumble cookies. I know they're delicious, but no more crumble. You're not allowed. You're grounded from crumble. I mean this because it destroys you. So the past like 6 months or so was the first time in my life I've ever ate like pastries. And hell no, I'm done with it again. It's disgusting. Overly sweet stuff is gross. I hope you guys feel the same way. I know some people got a sweet tooth. There's some arguments about that being parasites, but you got to clean up your diet. For me personally, I do carnivore diets, meats and cheese. That's the thing. If it's from an animal, I consume it. If it's not from an animal, I don't really care. Not saying you shouldn't eat like fruits and vegetables because that's just perfectly fine. What I do is a carnivore diet plus a multivitamin, make sure I'm getting everything. And I'll do some more like gym fitness stuff soon. I got a couple like really good things planned that I think is going to help you guys a lot. But for now, focus on the basics of your diet. Everybody knows what they're eating wrong. I mean, it's exactly like we were talking about earlier. I was explaining like list out all the negatives. So do the exact same thing. Put fat ass on one side, the other side put Jack Chad or something. And on the fat ass side, line out exactly what a fat, gross, 850, my 1,000-pound life body would look like. Write down exactly what it takes to be a 1,000-pound piece of lard. And then just do the opposite of all of it. All of it. And also fasting's not a bad idea, right? We should all fast from time to time. Even outside of Ramadan, fasting's a beautiful thing. It gives us lots of energy. There's so much evidence based around fasting that's really beneficial. So just reverse engineer it with your diet. I think that's going to be the best advice I can give you right now. I'll have to make like a specific video about diets. That way I can really break it down and show you guys how to tailor it the right way. But all this has just been on the top of my mind. It's one of these things where I'm like feeling really good right now and I want to blurt it all out while it's here. That's all I have for today. If you guys want to jump on a call, I added some more time slots, links in the description. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys for joining another Yap session. And I will see you guys in the next one.